Hey guys, Josh from Fighter Pilot Poker. I'm going to go over a couple of sort of logistics and administration details here, and then I've got some great hands to go over from the last couple of days at Oceans 11 with some positive results, so always a good thing. So this is I think my last idea with Fighter Pilot gimmick. You got the jacket, you got the straddle shirt. I'd be willing to do hand breakdowns while skydiving. I think that'd be cool. I was thinking about something around the F-18 simulator, but cameras are frowned upon in the F-18 simulator, so I don't exactly know how we can work that, but always thinking of some good ideas like that. So leaving for Brazil 1 week from today, pretty stoked about that. We still have, for the motorcycle crowd, we still have the Pink's Hot Dog ride to eat from all over the country, basically, up in Hollywood. That's happening this Saturday. I erroneously thought it was last Saturday because I looked at a 2018 email, and I'm just not that smart. So I took a free trip up there. I didn't need that 3 hours there and back, but I did get some pretty sweet footage that I'll probably use for the regular video. So there's that. Got tons of footage here from Oceans 11 over the last 3 days. Some of it's just incredible, I think. So I'm going to roll a lot of that into this video and probably another video. May have some more footage here over the next few days to get that out before Brazil. As you can imagine, the editing tax is pretty substantial, especially with the poker hands. You've got to take the screen capture of the poker bankroll tracker app that I'm using for hand histories, pair that with sort of my interview in this type of format, paired with live video from the casino or photos. So it's a lot to put together for those, and usually can't even turn it around in a day with me having a day job. And then we start the Brazilian series. So there'll be the whole preparation video, the kinds of things we need to worry about in getting to Brazil. They just stopped the requirement for a visa for U.S. passport holders. So that's incredible. They actually made it a pretty easy process 2-3 years ago. The previous process to that was your standard sort of 2 to 4 month wait with embassies and consulates and whatever else is involved. So that's cool. So what's basically the travel down there and preparation type video. And then once I'm actually playing, so that should be Wednesday of next week, I'm going to try to put out a vlog every day. That's going to be tough. Anyone that does the vlogging every day when they're playing a full tournament schedule is using an editor. I am not, because I'm just too small, right? So maybe the quality comes through in the videos that, I just learned video editing here in the last couple of months. But that being said, it's cost effective for me to do it myself and keep with the branding and everything else. So yeah, so I think the point of all that is I'm going to shoot footage to basically release a video every day. I may not be able to release a video every day, right? And upload speeds at the hotel, whatever the case may be. A 20-minute video on a slow internet connection type of thing could take 2 hours to upload. Definitely takes over an hour to render. Just kind of some considerations as far as publishing the content and that sort of thing. So anyway, the point is I'm going to start with a plan of daily vlogs and see if I can start releasing them, especially if I'm not making a lot of day 2s and day 3s. They're not particularly long days if you're just playing a single event, but if you're busting out of a day 2 and then jumping in night events, there's not going to be a lot of time for editing and things like that. So expectation management, I think I would call that. Yeah, we'll do what we can, and if we get a little bit behind, you'll see sort of the conclusion of the BSOP videos upon return, that first week of December or something like that. But it should be a ton of content, ton of interesting stuff. I've also got the Fighter Pilot poker chips came in. which is cool. Same logo as you see on the videos. I'll be handing those out. If you see me in a card room and you'd like one, just hit me up. I usually have them on me. I've already given out a few. All I'd ask is that you subscribe to the channel. Try to follow me on either Twitter or Instagram. I'm also looking to do a promotion for a few percent of the Brazilian series. So the only issue with the promotion like that is I'm not using the fancy software. I'm just too small for that sort of thing. So it will be a real thing. It will be a random giveaway. But I don't always know how your Instagram is related to your YouTube channel ID, sort of Google ID that you're using. I also, if you don't show the show option for the YouTube, if you just join and don't share who you belong to, I don't have any way of knowing that you subscribed either. So I guess I'll have to throw a disclaimer up just to kind of talk through it. If there's a better way, you know of something, please reach out to me. But otherwise, you're gonna have to, if it says Bob, subscribe to your YouTube channel, I'll know who that is. I can contact you if you're a winner, and I can worry about matching up, since there's only a couple hundred probably that are gonna be eligible for that sort of thing, and we'll pick a winner and hopefully turn a profit up there. We also got the very cool Fighter Pilot Poker mug. It's giant, it's ginormous, and hopefully have a poker hoodie all set for Brazil as well, though it hasn't shipped yet. So that's what's going on with me. I've got, like I said, a ton of content right now to shred up, so that should be going next. And 2 more poker videos. We got the Pinks video, and then we'll start the Brazilian prep and the Brazilian dailies. So I'm pretty stoked. Thanks again for all the support.
Please double me up. I got to pay rent. And you're a good guy.
Okay, good. So I get back from my trip from Vegas, and I think it was Saturday night, roll over to Ocean's 11. Sit down at the 2-5, and pretty passive table. Playing a lot of hands in position, picking up small pots. Pretty much the only one 3-betting without like aces or kings. So things are going all right. Yeah, here's an example of the old 3-4 offsuit on the button. You get the $15 open, a couple of limpers, callers, and I'll bump that up to $50. End up 3-handed. Flop is Jack of Spades, 8 of clubs, 7 of diamonds. C-bet. That's only going to hit someone that has any combination of Jack, maybe some good 8s, and of course 9-10. And maybe some gut shots and things like that. But they have a little bit of a reputation that people know they're going to play a big pot with me. So it's not like I'm going to give them draws for cheap very often. So, unless someone has a made hand or a decent draw, I think a lot of times they're just going to get out of the way. So pick up a pot there. And that brings us to a hand against Mr. Dong. Okay, so this is a fun hand. We're playing 5-handed against Mr. Dong. Dong is a young Asian player who's loose aggressive, definitely likes to splash around, definitely fun to play with, likes to river bluff. If he's got a backdoor on the flop, he's definitely going to float with you, and then check raise you on the turn and shove on the river. Pretty good at playing, say, 200 big blind kind of stacks and splashing around that way. So I'm going to wake up with 6-3 in the big blind. Mr. Dong is going to be on the button, raise it up to 20. I will complete the action to go to a favorable 9-6-3 flop. Dong there is raising with definitely any suited cards, any connected cards, any ace, any pair. Folded to him like this 5-handed. at least hands he's going to be raising, and no issues there. I'm going to check it over to him with the check raise game plan, just because I am just dominating anything he can have here. So he's going to bet out 30 into the pot of 42 bucks. I will make it 120. So 4x that bet. I might actually, in hindsight, make that a little bit bigger, but it's not going to really affect any of the action, just because, you know, there's going to be some over pairs that still have good equity. There's going to be spades with decent enough equity. You know, maybe make that a worse price for those types of hands. But Mr. Dong's got other ideas. He's going to raise all in, shove for a stack of 480. I'm going to think about that for just a second and call. You can see from the video here, right away the ace of spades on the turn, which can't be good for me. Hands like ace 9 are now beating me. All the, you know, the flush draws are now there, and ace x hands, I've got to fade some more outs. So I'd really like to see a 6 or a 3, but alas, not going to happen. And Mr. Dong is going to turn over the nut flush for the nuts. He just decided to shove the cum there. Can't necessarily fault him. Two pairs not going to do it that day. But this is going to set up some other hands later in the session. The 2-5 is going to actually end up breaking, and we're going to splash around in just a crazy 2-3 game, which we'll get into some of those hands. I'm gonna catch Mr. Dong bluffing river a couple of times. I think I've got an example of that coming up as well. Okay, so this hand's gonna be against a gentleman named Corey, and it kind of sets up another hand that's gonna happen toward the end of the night. This is again at the 2-5 table. I'm gonna wake up with a wheel type ace deuce off. I'm gonna raise it up again based on the other information. Generally gonna open a pretty wide range in position with the lineup that we have. Corey though is going to 3-bet in the big blind. He's got me covered with a stack of 1700 ish. So he's gonna raise it up to 60, and I'm like, hey, let's see a flop. So I'm gonna flop the ace high. I'm actually feeling really good about this. You know, in a tighter game, like I said, there isn't a lot of 3-bets, so somebody might think, wow, he's got a premium hand there, you're always crushed. But to me, it was more like a middling pocket pair out of position. I don't think I'm ever folding, so I'm sure it could be some kind of premium hand. I don't think that he thinks I'm ever folding with his pre-flop raise of $60. But I think more often than not, because he checks here, that my ace is going to be good all day. So he's going to check. I'm going to check behind. While my ace is good all day, there's a lot of draws out there. There's a lot of nutted hands. The other possibility I was thinking is he has a nutted hand. Like he has pocket queens, he has ace queen, and he loves the check raise. He loves to take advantage of the fact that I'm going to be aggressive at the table. So I think checking back is going to be fine here and see what the turn brings. We'll either play a really small pot and hope the ace high is going to work at showdown, especially as the board could get a little wetter. So then that brings a blank on the turn of a 9 of diamonds. He's going to check over me once again. I think likely hands here are any combination of queen, queen X, kings, jacks and tens, those kind of hands. And so I'm feeling pretty good about raising 65 here for value. He's going to come along. We'll go to the river, which brings the 6 of hearts. He's going to check again. So pure value. Hey, again, he's got jacks, kings, or some combination of queen, like 100% of the time. So I'll throw out 150 for some value, take a nice pot down, but not so fast. he's going to insta-call, and he's going to have the old ace-10. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I was completely caught off guard. It doesn't happen all that much. We definitely slow played that the way it was played, and you know, I guess I would be calling along. You know, you play something like a weak ace, you flop an ace, oftentimes you're going to lose on all streets. And again, in a sort of tighter, more normal, bigger stakes game, I could just let that ace deuce go, especially unsuited. But I thought that was a good opportunity. Thought flopping the ace was absolutely fantastic. And this one's not going to work out. I think this is a good setup, though, too, for the following hand that we'll go into next with the same gentleman, Mr. Corey. All right, so that leads us to the last hand of the 2-5. It's going to end up breaking the table. Yeah, so the same Corey opens up with pocket aces. No, he doesn't. He's in the big blind, as you can see. But I'm going to open it up with my suited king, 5-handed for 3x, 15. Button's going to come along, and pocket aces is going to do a smallish raise to 40. Be surprised if anyone folds, but he did get the button to fold. So here we are, heads up, $97 pot, and obviously I'm looking to flop 2 pair, a couple of 4s, a king X, clubs would be fantastic, and I end up with 2 clubs and a 3 straight, 4, 5, 6, so that's pretty good. Yeah, 3 better is going to open up with 30 into the $100 pot. I'm going to bump that up to 140, thinking I'm going to take down a nice pot here. And, you know, some likely hands that he might 3-bet with of like jacks and 10s. Obviously, there's nut clubs that could be available out there. There's overpairs, aces and kings, and sets are all going to be there as well. Basically, he's going to have any pair here. A lot of his better ace suiteds. Not really confident in what else he's going to be 3-betting there, so I'll just leave it there. I'm going to bet 140. He's going to call, and no waiting. Take a ride into the danger zone. You know, I really wanted to use that clip, but then YouTube's going to flag my video. But if I sing it to you, excellent, excellent, excellent singer. Yeah, so we're going to pair the board and make the clubs. All pretty awesome. Apologize that I've taken away the excitement of knowing what his hand is, and you can all say how, you know, he definitely has a full house here. You can see he doesn't, you know, that sort of thing. But I like to mix it up, do one of the hands open face, and we can just think about ranges and what, you know, people ought to do with the information at hand. So he's going to bet out on this river, or on this turn, of 100. And I've got my made flush, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and try to extract some value here and bump it up to 360. And you see there the equities, knowing the hands here, right? He's going to have obviously all the clubs. He's going to have 2 6s and 2 aces that are going to complete the full house for him and beat my second nut club draw. He knows that I don't have the ace of clubs. He still has another $1,100 behind, so he's got some good good ability to put some pressure on me to you know, smaller flushes and things like that, or 6s that could be beating him, that sort of thing. So he's going to go ahead and jam, which I did not see coming again. Maybe that should be the theme of this vlog, but yeah, he's going to jam. Just knowing his hand now makes a lot more sense. But at the time, I was kind of terrified, right? I'm losing to the nut flush. I'm losing to queens. Yeah, what else am I losing to, right? Nut flush and queens, and, you know, other sets and full houses that could be made. But with the 3-bet, he's not going to have 5-6. He's not going to have queen 5. He's not going to have queen 6. Lots of 2-5 players will have those hands. I don't think this player is going to have those hands. 5-6 suited, maybe. I think he just calls the open and sees a flop for that. But yeah, so does he have the nut flush? Does he have pocket queens? Just kind of a weird action with the check, me raising, and then him 3-bet shove. I'm going to have to make the call, which I do. Flips up his aces. And that's going to break the 2-5. So we're going to move over to 2-3. And like I said, play a couple hands with Dong that are interesting. I'll build up a stack there. And then the last hand of the night we'll walk through as well. And we'll save the really good stuff with my buddy Dave. And some 5-5-10 action for the next video. We're at the 2-3. We're down to 5-handed now, the 2-3. So as you remember, the 2-5 broke. Moved over to the 2-3. We had first let's talk through Dong. He just got up a photo here of him bluffing on the river with the $300 bet. Yeah, I'm just gonna call. I don't have that hand ginned up, but we'll play a bunch of hands like that after he made that. Nut spades on the 2-5. Yeah, he's trying to run his stack up on 2-3. Can't have as much money in play. It's a $400 max buy-in at Oceans. So he's doing everything he can there to run it up. Gotta appreciate his passion for sure. This is an example where I have ace-10 offsuit and flop is 10 high, and I'm betting I'm on the button here, betting for value all the way, to include a turn bet of 220. When he calls the 220, I've got top single pair, and just can't really place him on a hand. There's a bunch of pretty wide range guys, so a lot of two pairs have come up. He could have me crushed with something like jacks or something like that. The fact that he's calling every street, and I'm betting pretty sizable 2/3 pot kind of stuff. So this is 220 on the turn. He will reluctantly call, and I will go check on the river, and take down a nice pot there. But this leads us down to a table with these characters. This is Cecil. He's going to be on the button. I've got him as tight passive-ish on the Poker Bankroll Tracker hand replayer here. And then this is a guy we're going to say nutty new to poker, or at least to casino, hold'em, that sort of thing. That's this gentleman here. Did a lot of really interesting plays. Has a lot of creativity. Generally a type of guy you want to have in the game. Definitely a super nice guy. And so that's all going to be a factor here as we play 2-3 in a spot where I think a lot of other games that I would typically play is a pretty easy fold without a lot invested with this pocket queens hand. We're dealt pocket queens, 5-handed. Under the gun's gonna limp. I'm gonna make it 20. So what? 6.6x. Extra 3 in there. All the 15s are getting called at least 3 ways. Let's try 20. So we'll raise 20. To my surprise, Cecil on the button, not playing a lot of hands, goes ahead and calls. So that's going to definitely range limit him, not like maybe a standard button player and the types of hands they could call behind. And then Nutty New to Poker is going to call as well, so we'll be 3-way to the flop. Flop is 10 high with a 10-9 of 7, so fairly wet flop there. I think if I was deep with bigger stacks, bigger game to bankroll ratio, if you will, yeah, I'm gonna have to play this a lot differently, right? But Queens is gonna be ahead a lot of the time against the 2 players. Cecil, the only problem is there, he's got me almost covered. He doesn't have me covered, but he's just got a big stack for this game with 3 times the max buy-in. or yeah, 400 big blind stack. So I'm going to bet out 50 into this pot, 66. Let me see where I'm at. Obviously, there could be some 8 jacks are definitely a possibility. A suited 8 jack. All of the sets. I don't think Cecil's going to have kings or aces here. I think he's going to be just motivated to raise those hands even after I raise. But I think all the sets, pocket 8s, pocket jacks, are all players there. Jack queen, potentially. And then for nutty new to poker, it could be absolutely anything. So, you know, somewhat difficult to play. You have to find yourself sort of calling off and getting it in there without the standard lines that you might be thinking about. So I'm going to bet out $50 into a pot of 66. Cecil goes ahead and raises me to $150. And before I get into ranges, Nutty New to Poker is going to go ahead and shove. Now let's talk about Nutty for a second. He's shoving here with, yeah, so the premium hands that we could expect. But he's also probably shoving here with ace-7, with or without the ace of diamonds. He's probably shoving here with any 8, to include 8-4, 8-3, in case you didn't know what any 8 meant. And he's also, you know, thinks ace-king's a super premium hand. Doesn't, not necessarily certain of this context, and that it's obviously not a decent hand unless it's ace-king of diamonds specifically. So yeah, in a normal situation with queens here or any single pair, and it's raise, re-raise, shove. So he's shoving here for, you know, 130 big blinds. Yeah, pretty easy folds, right? But now we have this wild card of that could be any 2 cards. And we just have the Cecil. So what do I don't like about Cecil? He's got a good size stack, like I said. I don't think he's only gonna raise if he connected with the board, or he has something like kings, queens, jacks, and no ace came out. So he's feeling, you know, he's got an overpair. He didn't get blocked by the ace. I don't know that he's gonna do this with a diamond draw unless it's specifically a diamond draw with an 8. So like that would be like 6-8, or you know, Jack Queen of diamonds is certainly there specifically. So hands like that, I could definitely see him raising. So after a little tanking and kind of the consideration, I'm gonna go ahead and call, and you know, I jam here and I'm completely dominated with some very likely hands of pocket 10s, pocket 9s, pocket 7s. Yeah, I think I might have to lay it down. So that makes this call like kind of bad if that's my follow-on game plan. But I end up calling, and Cecil just calls behind, which makes me feel really great, right? So it's either diamonds or a single pair type of hand, possibly a 2-pair type of hand, but probably not a set. So we're gonna get a blank on the turn, except, you know, 6-8 gets there. I'm going to check, just giving Cecil the respect of a passive player who raced me on the flop and called me cold pre-flop. You know, hopefully he has a hand like ace-10 or jacks at this point, but certainly could have me beat. And he's gonna check behind. River's gonna blank with the 6, now making a straight with a single 8, so the 4 straight's out there. Yeah, I just go ahead and check again, and he's gonna check behind. And you know, a hand like this, I think about a lot of players I play with that I respect their game are gonna get the rest of the value from Cecil. Whether that's shoving and he calls on the flop. I don't know that he would call a shove, but getting some value there on turn, river, or maybe one of the two. I think check on the turn and a little value. Yeah, the 4 straight's out there, but what hand's gonna call you? Will a single pair call value on the river? Small value, like say $250 bet or something like that. Yeah, you know, I think so. It's one of those hands I don't think I play it that way very often, and I'm folding the flop very often, and it's one of those things, 2-3 with specific players, specific lineup, where some of the exploitative play, mouthful, some of the exploitative play and the live reads and just situationally dependent poker works out. And so I'm going to put in examples, plenty of examples where that doesn't work out, but this isn't going to be a particularly complex lineup or complex game theory going on, and the queens are going to hold up. So both players have the same hand with ace-10 offsuit, and so that's going to work out and also break that game. So all in all, pretty good game set up with Dong making his bluffs, with Mr. Nutty New to Poker, and this fairly large pot. So this is a 450 blind pot, which is always great. When the only game running there at Oceans early in the morning is the 2-3, and you can win a 400 blind pot. No complaints here. All right, so that's going to do it for this vlog number 7. This one went a little longer than I'd like. You got to listen to me babble about the future in the next week and what to expect. Next video is a preview, since I've already shot the footage. We're going to see 5-7 work some more wonders. We saw that in Vegas. 5-7 is going to be a winner for us a couple of times. We're going to have the Mighty Dave, who is a lot of fun to play with and really mixes it up. And we're going to see, when I'm losing at a 5-5-10, just how much I like to depart from my diet and feed my face at 3 in the morning and 11 o'clock at night and 6 in the morning. And not a good way to live. So a little preview, and thanks again for watching. Kindly subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see if we can get the next video out in the next 1 to 2 days. Thanks a lot. See ya.